Hey guys, in today's lesson we're going to go through a quick 3-lick section of Clapton's solo on Tore Down, the great blues song. And we're going to go through it note for note, and then we're going to talk about how you can use some of these ideas to implement in your own playing. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to put our pentatonic scale here at the C, 8th fret of the E string there, and then the chords from the song, of course, are going to be here 1, 4, 5. This portion that we're looking at kind of starts about 1 minute and 22 seconds into the song, or the second bar of the guitar solo. So we've got our 1 position, but we've also got this 2nd position, right above that 1 position. Okay, and as we go through this, I want you to kind of imagine, if this is something that's not familiar to you, imagine that there is this shape or box, whatever you want to call it, right located inside of this position 1. So we'll talk about how these notes kind of fit into that. Okay, so first thing, we're jumping up to the 13th fret of the B, and then we're going to use our ring finger to roll right up to the 13th fret of the E. So going to hit that 3 times, and then we've got a bend on 13th of the E, right? Whole step bend. So we got quarter step bend or half step bend with the index finger or the 11th of the E, and then down to 13th fret of the B again, and we want to give that some vibrato, and then we're ending 10th fret on the B with our index finger. So first thing to notice there is that we end here rather than there, which is within our usual little position 2 box here, but instead we end right there, which is in that little box that I outlined earlier. So, right? Then we're gonna, for the 2nd lick, we're gonna start there with our index finger, right? So we're gonna hit that, and then we're gonna jump up to 13th on the B, so we're moving back into the 2nd position, and then we move up to 11 with the index finger on the E, 13 naturally, and then full bend, back to a little quarter step bend with the index finger on the E, 2, 13 on the B, vibrato, and then this time we end back up to a quarter step on 11. So you've got, right? And then the 3rd lick, we're moving down here to the 1st position, and we're going to start with, right? So 8th fret on the B, 11th fret on the E, and then 8th fret on the E. So, okay, and then we're going to use our ring finger to hit 10th fret on the E, roll to 10th fret on the B, index finger, 8th fret on the E and the B. So we're going. Okay, so you can see we're using this smaller position right inside here to its full advantage. We're using all 4 of those notes, right? And it's giving us a good example of kind of how we, right here, we're in our traditional box 1 position, and then we throw these guys in there. It adds some really nice complexity and texture as we're kind of mixing these major and minor sounds together. Something that you couldn't get if you were just sticking completely to the outline of this box 1 position. So let's continue here. So we've got, then we're coming down to the 10th fret of the G with our ring finger. Then we're going to hammer on 8 to 9 on the G, index to middle finger, and then ring finger 10th fret of the D there. So we've got, right? Okay, so something to note there is hammering on that minor to major 3rd, right? And of course that's just coming right from our chord there. Major, minor. So we're literally mixing major and minor right there, and then right down to the root note of the chord that's ringing out, sorry, this chord, as we're playing these licks. But then we don't end there. It jumps down to the fifth of the chord that we're playing, the C chord, and then ending here with a note that's not quite so dominant, and kind of gives you, you know, a little kind of an uneasy feeling as you end on a note like that, rather than if you were to end here. So and we've got that. Okay, so 3 licks, 2 up here in the second position, 1 down here. And the biggest takeaway from this is our right. So we can hammer on, we can slide, we can do all kinds of things. In and out of this traditional box 1 that adds a nice layer of texture and complexity to what you're doing. It's what all these, you know, Clapton and B.B. King and, you know, right on down the line, all these great blues players, they have that sound of mixing major and minor. And so if this is something brand new to you, move this guy around, practice it in different keys, put on a backing track on YouTube or put a song on and try to put this to work. Mixing this with that, okay, using slides, any technique you want, bends and the like. So that's all for today. I hope this was helpful. I hope that this, if this is something that you haven't seen before, that it spurred an interest in you and you want to go and study this more. I hope to post more videos looking at this in the future. Okay, so that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hit subscribe if you liked the video, and I'll see you soon.